we are making a fatal mistake. For 10,000 years, human history has been defined by one rule: we build tools to help us work. The hammer extends the arm, the bicycle extends the foot, the computer extends the file cabinet. Because of this history, we are looking at artificial intelligence and telling ourselves it is just another tool. We say, it's like the calculator, it will just make us faster. We are wrong. AI is not a tool. It is a new species of labor. And for the first time in the history of our planet, we are building a species that is designed to eat the old one.
The decisive vote of the 36th state against prohibition is happy news for the grain raisers of the United States. And at least 500,000 new jobs are predicted as the result of repeal.
In the Industrial Revolution, machines came for our muscles. They replaced the back, but they left us the brain. We retreated into offices, into creative work, into strategy. We thought we were safe behind our desks. But this time, the machine isn't coming for your muscles. It is coming for your mind. It doesn't want to lift the box. It wants to decide where the box goes, write the shipping manifest, design the logo on the packaging, and fire the person who used to do it. We are currently standing in the same position as the horse in the year 1900. We don't realize that the car didn't make the horse's job easier, it made the horse obsolete. There is a way to survive this, a specific way to combine your brain with AI to become unstoppable, which I've broken down in the survival guide below. But to use it, you first need to understand the trap you are walking into. This process doesn't happen overnight. It happens in stages. I have mapped out the 6 stages of human replacement. Understand one thing before we begin. These are not predictions. These are mathematical pressure phases. Once an economy crosses a certain threshold of automation, it must move to the next stage. It is gravity. You cannot vote against gravity. Most of you watching this think we are years away from the danger zone, but the terrifying reality is that we are already transitioning out of stage 1. By the time this video is over, you will realize you are likely already in the trap. You just haven't felt the walls closing in yet. Let's begin with the invisible phase. Stage 1 is the most dangerous phase because it is designed to be invisible. I call this the hollowing. If you look at the economy right now, nothing looks broken. Unemployment is low, the stock market is high, you still go to the office, you still get a paycheck. But if you look closer, the structural integrity of your career is rotting from the inside out. To understand this, you have to stop thinking about jobs. A job is a myth. It doesn't exist. What you actually have is a bundle of tasks. You are a bundle of 50 different microservices that your employer buys from you. In the past, when a machine replaced a human, it replaced the whole bundle. A tractor replaced the farmer. A robotic arm replaced the welder. But AI is different. It is a sniper. It doesn't shoot the worker, it shoots the tasks inside the worker. It picks off the email writing task, then it picks off the data sorting task, then the first draft task. Stanford researcher Eric Brynjolfsson calls this the task-based transformation. His team analysed thousands of job descriptions and found a terrifying correlation. They found that for 80% of the US workforce, at least 10% of their daily tasks can be done by AI right now. For many white-collar roles, that number is closer to 50%. Goldman Sachs backed this up in 2024. They predicted that AI will automate 25% of all work tasks in advanced economies. Note the language carefully. They didn't say it would automate 25% of the people, they said tasks. Every time you use AI to speed up your workflow, you are doing 2 things. First, you are devaluing the skill it took to do that work. If an email takes 10 seconds to write, writing emails is no longer a valuable skill. Second, and more importantly, you are acting as the quality assurance department for your own replacement. When the AI hallucinates or makes a mistake, you fix it. You provide the reinforcement learning from human feedback. You are currently being paid to teach the software how to not need you anymore. So in stage 1, you don't lose your job, you just lose your leverage. You are running faster and faster on a treadmill that is slowly increasing its speed just to stay in the exact same place financially. But eventually, the treadmill goes too fast. That is when we cross the threshold into stage 2. This brings us to stage 2, the Great Decoupling. This is where the economic lie finally breaks. For the last 100 years, the deal between capital and labor was simple. It was based on a handshake of scarcity. The deal was, if you become more productive, if you learn to use the new tools and make the company more money, the company pays you more. Why? Because skilled labor was scarce. If they didn't pay you, you would leave and they couldn't replace you. But AI shatters that scarcity. We are now entering an era where productivity goes vertical, output approaches infinity, but wages flatline or drop. Why? Because you are no longer the bottleneck. Let's look at the canary in the coal mine for this stage, the software engineer. For the last decade, a senior developer was the king of the job market. They commanded massive salaries because their experience was impossible to replicate. Enter stage 2. Suddenly, 2 junior developers equipped with AI agents can produce the same volume of code as 1 senior developer. Is the code better? Maybe not. But is it good enough? Yes. And more importantly, is it cheaper? Much cheaper. This is the senior trap. You aren't getting fired because you are bad at your job. You are getting fired, or not hired at all, because you are inefficiently expensive. The market no longer pays a premium for your 10 years of expertise when a machine provides 80% of that expertise for $20 a month. Mustafa Suleyman, the CEO of Microsoft AI, said the quiet part out loud. He explicitly stated that the goal of AI is to reduce the marginal cost of intelligence to 0. Think about the terrifying implications of that. If you are a white-collar worker, you are selling intelligence. You are selling your ability to process information. If the supply of intelligence becomes infinite, the price of intelligence crashes to the floor. You are trying to sell bottled water next to a free, infinite waterfall. No matter how good your water is, you cannot compete with free. The IMF saw this coming. In a report that most news outlets ignored, they warned of a scenario where the labor share of the economy falls continuously. As robots and AI replace labor, the people who own the machines keep all the profit. The people who work the machines fight over the scraps. In stage 2, the rich don't just get richer, they decouple from the rest of humanity entirely. But this creates a massive problem for the owners, a problem they didn't calculate. If you fire the workers, who is going to buy your product? That brings us to stage 3. To understand stage 3, we don't need to look at an economics textbook. We just need to look at video games. Any gamer knows what happens when bots take over a server. The bots work 24/7. They farm gold, they craft items, and they flood the market with infinite resources. At first, it seems great. Everything becomes cheap, but then the economy breaks. The real players, the humans, realize they can't compete with the bots. They can't earn gold anymore, so they quit. The server becomes a ghost town, just millions of bots selling items to nobody. Stage 3 is when the real world becomes a broken server. We are turning the global economy into a bot farm. Companies are racing to deploy AI agents to farm productivity. They are flooding the world with infinite content, code, and services. But in the process, they are banning the players. We are building a machine that optimizes for production, making things, while completely destroying consumption, buying things. It's a simple, brutal math problem. Robots don't buy sneakers. They don't buy houses. They don't pay taxes. If you remove the human wage earner from the loop, the flow of money stops. You can feel the beginning of this phase right now. Since corporations know that growth is getting harder, they have switched strategies. They have switched to extraction.
The days of sharing your account with your bestie to binge Bridgerton or Stranger Things are over.
The cost of a ride from a ride-sharing app like Uber or Lyft increased 92%.
The FTC is officially suing Adobe over their sleazy subscription practices.
Food prices started rising rapidly during COVID, and since then, food inflation has slowed, but prices are still going up.
free ride is over for ChatGPT users, with OpenAI to soon show advertising next to its chatbot answers.
This is why every app is becoming a subscription. This is why prices are rising, even though technology should make things cheaper. They are squeezing the remaining humans for every last cent before the system breaks. They are trying to extract the wealth now because they know the bot farm economy of the future has no consumers left. And once the consumers are gone, money itself changes meaning. We move away from capitalism entirely. We move to Stage 4, the era of the warlords. Stage 4 is where the economy stops looking like capitalism. In the past, a small business could compete with a big one because human creativity was the equalizer. But in Stage 4, if you don't own the superintelligence, you can't compete with the person who does. You are bringing a knife to a nuclear war. Sam Altman has argued that as AI integrates into the workforce, the price of labor will fall towards zero. Stop and think about the physics of that statement. If labor is worth zero, then wealth can no longer come from working. You cannot work your way up in a world where work has no value. Wealth will only come from capital, from owning things, owning the land, owning the stock, owning the robot. The ladder is being pulled up. We are moving from a society where you could get rich by being smart and hardworking to a society where you stay poor simply because you don't own the machine that makes the money. Economists are calling this techno-feudalism. In feudalism, you had lords, who owned the land, and serfs, who worked the land. In Stage 4, the class system simplifies into two groups, the owners and the users. You won't be unemployed in the traditional sense, you will be a user. You will subscribe to your life. You will rent the intelligence you need to do your job. You will rent the entertainment you watch. It isn't rich versus poor, it is landlord versus tenant, and the rent is due every month. But being a user is actually the best case scenario, because at least a user is needed to pay the rent. What happens when the system realizes it doesn't even need your rent money? Stage 5 is the psychological breaking point. Throughout all of human history, the struggle has always been against exploitation. The rich needed the poor to work the fields, fight the wars, and build the cities. The poor had power because they were needed. But in Stage 5, the threat changes. We are no longer facing exploitation, we are facing irrelevance. The scariest future isn't one where the AI overlords hate us or enslave us. The scariest future is one where they simply don't care about us, because they don't need us. If an AI can invent better technology, manage the logistics and secure the perimeter, what is the human actually for? We move from being the working class to what historian Yuval Noah Harari calls the useless class. He argues that 99% of human qualities are simply redundant for the economic engine of the future. Imagine being that horse again. When the car came, we didn't retrain the horses. We didn't teach the horses to be mechanics. We simply stopped breeding them. We put the lucky ones in a paddock to eat grass, and we turned the rest into glue. In Stage 5, humans become the horses. The economy roars past us at the speed of light, and we are left standing on the highway, wondering why traffic doesn't stop for us anymore. So what does the system do with millions of people who have no economic value? It shifts to management. The narrative changes from retraining the workforce to managing the surplus. This is where the concept of digital zoos comes in. If the masses cannot work, they must be pacified. Cheap entertainment, immersive VR. The goal of the elites in Stage 5 is not to use you. It is to keep you quiet while the machines do the real work. It is the ultimate identity crisis. You still have food, you still have shelter, but you have zero purpose. But eventually, even the cost of keeping you quiet becomes a variable in the equation. And that brings us to the final stage. We finally arrive at Stage 6, the economic zero point. This is the destination that economist Jeremy Rifkin predicted years ago, the zero marginal cost society. Capitalism is an operating system based on one variable, scarcity. Things have value because they are hard to get. But what happens when AI and robotics push the cost of producing everything down to near zero? This is where the timeline forks. There are only two ways Stage 6 can end. Path 1 is managed abundance. Think Star Trek. The benefits of AI are distributed to everyone. Energy is free, food is free. Money becomes obsolete because you don't need to buy anything. The human race retires. Path 2 is managed scarcity. Think Elysium. This is the darker timeline. The owners realize that if everything is free, they lose their power. Power requires that you have something others don't. So, they manufacture artificial scarcity. They put a paywall around the abundance. They use police and algorithms to keep the useless class out of the garden. In this world, the technology could feed everyone, but it is programmed not to. Sam Altman has said, the world will change so rapidly, an equally drastic change in policy will be needed to distribute this wealth. He is talking about things like universal basic income. But ask yourself, throughout history, when have the people with all the power voluntarily given it away to the people with none? We have solved the problem of production, how to make things. Now, we face the problem of distribution, who gets them. And historically, humans are very bad at sharing. So, where does this leave us? We are walking through the 6 stages right now. Stage 1 and 2 are already here. You feel them in your paycheck. Stage 3 and 4 are being built in the server rooms of San Francisco and Seattle right now. The scariest thing about AI isn't that it will become conscious and decide to kill us. The scariest thing is that it will do exactly what it is programmed to do, maximize efficiency. And in a system designed for maximum profit, you are the inefficiency. You cannot stop the technology, the math is inevitable, but you can choose which side of the war you are on when the gates close. For that, we have created the AI Career Survival Guide. It shows you how to combine your brain with AI to create a rare, unstoppable skill edge. Imagine AI plus biology, blockchain plus law, or SEO plus NLP, skills nobody else sees coming. Inside, you'll get actionable matrices, real-world case studies, and frameworks to turn your domain expertise into leverage. Future-proof your career and stay ahead of big tech. Don't wait for the AI wave to hit, ride it. Grab your copy from the description box now. Don't be the horse. Thanks for watching.